I'm verifying.
I don't care.
You're the supervisor. I just want to
Get out of the truck.
Hey, wait.
No, we're not.
Okay, I'll give you what.
Get out of the truck.
Okay, I'm getting out. Let me get out.
Power, abuse, corruption. When those in uniform cross the line, it's a stark reminder that even the most trusted authorities can betray our trust, like the shocking case of Tyreek Hill, the NFL star who was stopped for speeding and brutally forced out of his car, leaving us wondering, how far will dirty cops go to exploit their badge? In this video, we'll dive into the disturbing truth behind police misconduct, where the thin blue line becomes a thick gray area. Get ready to expose the system's dark underbelly, uncovering some dirty cop cases along the way. Newly released body cam footage reveals a routine traffic stop involving NFL star Tyreek Hill. Police pull over Hill's black car and request his license. Hill complies, but the officer notices he's not wearing a seatbelt. When questioned, Hill fails to respond adequately and rolls up his window, escalating the situation.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? Why you have it up? We don't know where you're talking. What you gotta do?
Tyreek Hill's traffic stop takes a turn when he refuses to roll down his windows. The officer warns him, "Don't play games with us," but Hill doesn't comply. Another officer arrives, opens the door, and pulls Hill out, arresting him. As he's being detained, Hill tells his friends on the phone, "Bro, I'm getting arrested."
Keep your window down.
Annie.
We're not playing this game.
Get out! Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew.
Tyreek's friends arrive on the scene, and he insists he's done nothing wrong, but the officer orders them to leave, saying, "Don't park here." Tyreek refuses to sit down, and another officer forces him to the ground. As his friends try to intervene, the officers push them back, warning, "Stay back, don't come close." The situation escalates, with the officers displaying aggressive behavior towards Tyreek and his friends.
I ain't do nothing, twin. Dang.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Twin, hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. Bro. I just had surgery. Hey, call Drew.
A tense exchange unfolds as an officer orders Tyreek's friend to move their car, warning of a ticket. Tyreek's friend refuses to comply, leading to a standoff. The officer demands their license, threatening arrest. Tyreek's friend hesitates, then tries to leave, but the officer insists. The situation escalates, with the officer using force and Tyreek's friend calling for help.
I'm in the car.
You gotta go before you get a ticket.
I'm not
in the car. Who's the driver?
This is my car.
All right, move. You gotta move right now. Let me have your license. You're gonna have a ticket too.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your license.
Leaving. Yo, what's
Your
going
license
on?
right now.
Sir, what's going on?
Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license?
Hey,
You're not gonna give me your license?
I'm leaving.
Let me have your license. Your license right now.
Sir, just told me to
Your
leave.
license right now.
Sir,
You're dealing with me now.
Sir.
Your license right now. We're not playing this game here, man.
Tyreek, pulled over for speeding, asks to sit up, but the officer refuses. Tyreek explains he was going 55 in a 40 and willing to accept the ticket. However, the officer becomes hostile, demanding Tyreek roll down his window. Tyreek hesitates, wanting to call Drew first, but the officer orders him out of the car. Tyreek protests, saying he didn't do anything wrong. The officer's aggression escalates, and Tyreek mentions his knee is hurt from the encounter. Tyreek expresses gratitude for a check, but the situation remains tense.
Nah, dude, tackle me on my. No, so look, he told me to pull over, right? And I pulled over. He was like, "Why ain't your seatbelt on?" I'm like, "Sir, was I speeding?" He was like, "Nah." He was like, "Yeah, you were speeding." I'm like, "Sir, I was going 55 in a 40." So like, he started walking away. I let my window back up and I put my seatbelt on, right? Nah, bro, I'm finna call Drew. So I called Drew. You know Drew Brooks, right? So I called Drew to make sure everything was straight. He started getting hostile. I never once got out of control or nothing, but then they pulled me out the car, slammed me on my knee, and he fought.
Tyreek, a black man, is pulled over and handcuffed. Frustration mounts as he says, "I'm just a black man in America." But then, his friend Drew arrives, calm and collected. Tyreek apologizes to the officer for his actions, showing a willingness to diffuse the tension. Drew's presence soothes the situation, and Tyreek is freed from cuffs. As they leave, Tyreek expresses gratitude and laments the challenges of being a black man in America. Drew offers support, and they walk away from a tense situation now resolved.
Let me stand him up so I can take off his
I'm going home.
Stand up.
I'm going home, bro.
Alright, come over here. Don't fall off the sidewalk.
No, like, we got. No, bro. Then this dude here. Open your legs.
Just let him lean forward a little.
Just go with the ring.
Hey,
Hold on, man.
thank you.
Hold on.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hold on.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Nah, I'm not, bro. I'm finna go home, bro. These cops. Take a picture of that officer, too.
In Alliance, Ohio, a tense standoff unfolds at a courthouse parking lot. A man reports a woman trying to block him from filing a police report. An officer confronts the woman, escalating the situation. "Roll down your window or I'll pull you out." The woman refuses, and the officer calls for backup. The situation intensifies, leading to a dramatic arrest.
You can roll the window down or I can pull you out. It's up to you. Roll your window down or I'm going to pull you out. Roll your window down or I'm 48 headquarters. I'm going to need another car. Roll your window down. If you don't okay. I am going to arrest you for obstructing. I am going to arrest you. I promise you I am.
A tense standoff unfolds at the attorney's office. A man tries to file a case, but a woman in her car blocks him, leading to a police confrontation. She records the officers while crying and pleading her case, claiming the man had assaulted her and is trying to take her child away. A female officer calms the situation. The woman resists, fearing retaliation, as the man seeks help from the attorney's office.
If you don't exit the vehicle,
You're not touching me.
If you don't exit the vehicle, I am arrested.
You're a hurry up and get here.
You can call whoever you want. If they interfere, they're going to jail too. Come out of the car or you are under arrest.
He needs to stay away from me.
48. 48 headquarters. So you were coming here to file a complaint?
Yeah.
And she tried preventing you?
Yes.
How did she try to prevent you?
She's blocking me in. She's trying to.
Okay.
Back with the suspect, another officer looks to calm down the situation.
No. Get him away from me. Get him away from me now. They already beat me the up a week ago. Do not let him near me.
I'll be out with 48.
My foot's still. Do not let them near me.
Who? Who? These people?
No, my this cop and other cops. They tackled me a week ago. Do not let them near me.
Okay. Why'd they tackle you a week ago?
Because I called them. Because my son's dad's been trying to take my kid from me.
Okay.
He needs to stay away from me, please.
Kayla Ryder, 31, is confronted by officers. Her sister arrives, and an officer warns her sister to stay back, saying, "If you don't back up, you're going to jail." The officer then turns to Kayla, who becomes agitated and tries to flee, nearly hitting the female officer. The officers block her path, leading to a standoff.
That's my sister. Do not let him touch her. Do not let him touch her. Do not let him touch her.
He's not going to touch her.
Do not let him
Calm
touch
down.
her. No, don't.
Officers later identify the suspect, seen here as 31-year-old Kayla Ryder.
This isn't your business. You go over there or you'll go to jail too. Go over there, you're going to jail too. What's your name?
Stay away from me.
Here's the deal. You can either come out of the car or I'm going to break out the window.
Why are you guys trying to arrest me?
I'm going to break out the window if you don't exit.
I speak to you.
No, you can go over there. If you don't back up, you're not standing behind us.
Okay, I'm not standing behind you.
No! .48 headquarters. She's trying to take off. We got a pursuit. She almost just struck Olivia.
The officer approaches Kayla's car, breaks her window with an axe, and shouts, "Stay back!" Kayla screams and cries, bewildered. The officer points a gun at her, yelling, "Get out!" then pulls out a taser, repeating, "Lay down, on your belly." Kayla, terrified, fails to comply, and the officer deploys the taser, subduing her.
No, stay the back! Get out of the car! On the ground! On the ground!
Get on the ground! Stop it! Stop
Face on your belly!
No.
Get on your belly!
Get on your belly! No, look at my
Get on your belly!
Your stomach!
Get on your... Get on your belly! Get on your belly! Taser! Taser!
Kayla, already tasered, refuses to comply with officers' demands. Put your hands behind your back, they shout. Kayla resists, pleading, let me go, and accusing the officers of abuse. The situation escalates as Kayla demands her medication and tries to protect her purse. Officers warn her they'll cut it off if she doesn't hand it over. Kayla shows her injured ankle, alleging previous police brutality. The standoff continues, with Kayla defiant and the officers insisting on restraining her.
On your back.
Put your hands behind your back! Get off of me! Do not do this to me again! I told you guys I didn't trust you!
Kayla is tasered a second time as police work to wrangle in the suspect.
Put your hand behind your back.
I'm not doing anything! I am not doing anything in this again! You guys
Hurry up.
did it again! Let go of my wrist, psychos! Hey! Yeah, you
Don't you f***ing move or you're getting zapped again.
You are such an abuser! You are a f***ing abuser! Do not zap me just because I called you a f***ing abuser! Get off! No! You're trying to take my purse again! Stop!
Cut it off.
No!
We will cut it off.
Bondoni, no! Let me have. Do you want me to cut off your purse?
We're way past that.
No, it's not. When he just tasered me.
We will cut it off
Look
if
at
you
my
don't give it
ankle
to
because
us.
of you guys last time too.
We're taking it off. If you don't want to give it to us, we're going to cut it off. Do you
It's
understand?
fine.
Officers move to arrest Kyla, attempting to put her in a patrol car. Kyla resists, shouting no and get away. As officers recite her rights, she becomes increasingly agitated, directing profanities at the officers and expressing fear of being touched. The situation is chaotic, with Kayla accusing the officers of being sickos and threatening to get her in trouble. Finally, Kayla is secured in the patrol car, ending the intense standoff.
Yeah, you guys want to say that because my sister came down here to save me.
Yeah, my body cam has it all, honey.
I know, and your body cam has.
Officers decide it's time to get Kayla in a patrol car. Let's see how that goes.
Let's get her in a f***ing car.
No, stop!
If you can't afford to hire one, won't be provided for you. You have the right to stop and answer a question anytime.
Don't you try anything. Give me my medicine.
No.
Ow! Oh my god!
Get in the f***ing car.
I hate him.
Get in the car.
I don't let him touch me. You f***ing piece of shit. My hand's gonna break again.
Well,
Get away!
life's choices.
So, are you kidding me? Get the f away, sicko!
Kayla, agitated and fearful, pleads with officers to stay away, insisting she's not on drugs. She's defiant and angry, accusing them of setting her up and hurting her previously. As officers try to subdue her, Kayla shows them her injured wrist and refuses to let them touch her. She calls out for her son and demands to see him, but officers inform her she's going to jail. In a moment of unexpected kindness, a female officer asks Kayla if she wants her to fix her dress, and Kayla agrees. The officer gently fixes Kayla's dress while she's in the police cruiser, a small act of compassion amidst the chaos.
I'm on drugs and I'm not. I literally just.
Hey,
I am.
listen, hold still. I have sharp in my hand. I don't want to get poked, and I don't want you to get poked.
Yeah, they want me to get in trouble. They set me the up. I was on the phone with the sheriff.
Somebody on the other side? What's that? Somebody on the other side? Yeah.
No, leave me alone.
Okay, hang tight.
Do you want me to fix your dress?
Why did you do this?
Well, why'd you run me over?
I did not.
Would you like me to fix your dress or no? I will fix your dress for you.
If you would, but I don't
Okay.
want I want my son.
Okay, well, right now, we're not worried about your son. We're worried about making sure.
I already talked to my therapist today and my doctors from the place. So why can't there was you guys can't do anything when I'm not there. I have no way to even get a hold of anybody to figure out the no contact order was even there. I want my son. You can't just take my son and my cat from me.
Right now, I mean, you're going to jail. You know that, right?
Kayla, still defiant, refuses a vital checkup. The officer firmly explains the consequences. You're going to jail, no phone calls, and a hospital visit for clearance. When asked to choose between an ambulance or riding with the officers, Kayla accuses them of touching her instead of responding. The officer decides, "You're going with us." Kayla screams, "That's not funny," and begs to go in the ambulance, but the officer denies her request. As she's taken away, Kayla continues to protest. She's eventually booked at the Stark County Jail on multiple charges, including felonious assault and resisting arrest. Her case remains open.
All right, ma'am, this is what's gonna happen, okay? I understand.
You don't know
You're not listening. That's why you don't know. And maybe you don't understand. You ran into her cruiser. You're going to jail tonight. You're not having any contact with anyone else. You're not making any phone calls until you get to the jail.
So is still out here free too.
Yeah.
She said that.
Yeah, you're going to jail. You're going to the hospital to get clearance. You can either go up in an ambulance or you can ride with one of us and we'll just drag you out of the car for clearance.
See, it's allowed. They're allowed to talk to me like that when I didn't even touch them.
Well, then you need to go in the ambulance with them if you don't want to be away. All right, then you can just ride up with us.
No, I'm not. I'm not riding with them.
Yep, you'll ride with us.
No! Please don't.
This is my car, isn't it?
No.
Go with you.
A singer tries to use her celebrity status to avoid a DUI arrest. As the officer handcuffs her, she asks if she can write a statement instead, but the officer firmly tells her, "You're being arrested for hitting a child while driving under the influence." The singer protests, but the officer repeats the charges, emphasizing the seriousness of the situation. Her attempts to use her fame to escape the consequences are unsuccessful.
But now we know you're not. Really? That's nice? Okay, we'll talk some more, Miss Daniel. Watch your head as you enter the car, okay? Let me help you with your hair. You're gonna put your hands behind your back? Step down so you don't fall, ma'am. For hitting a child. I didn't even get no fine. Well, it's on camera. At this point, you're being under arrest for 2 things: fleeing the scene of an accident and for being under the influence while driving. I'm not under the influence. All of you tested this. I wasn't. And you fled the scene of an accident and you caused major injury to a person. Yeah, to a child, not a person. As of now, that's what it is.
In May 2023, singer Danielle Lee Curiel, aka Danny Lee, was driving in Miami Beach, Florida, when she struck a 17-year-old on a motorized scooter with her car. Witnesses described her as swerving and speeding before the impact, which dragged the scooter for blocks. A bystander flagged down an officer who initiated a traffic stop. Bodycam video captures the chaotic scene as witnesses tend to the injured teenager lying on the ground. The incident unfolds in a dramatic and disturbing sequence.
So this is the 11 o'clock wash, and the scooter is resting on the floor at 13th wash.
¿Cuántos años tienes? Bueno, es que we're nurses. But how old is he? No. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Ya sé, ¿cuántos años tienes? ¿Cuántos años tienes? No, ¿cuántos años tienes?
A witness describes the chaotic scene after a car strikes a teenager on a scooter in Miami Beach. The witness saw the scooter being dragged across several blocks, but didn't see the driver. Other witnesses are unclear about the car's description, with some saying it was a white Jeep and others claiming it was a gray or silver Mercedes. Despite the confusion, one thing is certain: the car hit the teenager and sped away, with a white SUV following closely behind.
One witness told an officer he didn't see the driver who struck the teenager, but saw the aftermath of the scooter being dragged across several blocks.
So what have you seen?
I saw him come driving up the right lane, dragging.
Who was driving?
Yeah, he was dragging the scooter under his front bumper all the way up from 11th Street.
Okay.
And I heard it, and then he stopped over here. He backed up and disengaged, and a white SUV that was stopped over there, that had a stop for him to pull out, followed him.
But from some witness statements, there seemed to be confusion over whether the car that hit the teen was a white Jeep or a gray/silver Mercedes.
Did you see what happened, ma'am? I thought I did, but he explained it a little different than I thought I saw. What did you see? I mean, I heard it. I was behind the car that hit him. You don't know what kind of car it was? I couldn't tell which one it was. I don't know, like the guys never stopped up there. But it was right in front of you. It was so fast. It was so fast. Okay, thank you. Sorry. No worries.
Danny Lay, the driver of the Mercedes, is seen in handcuffs, claiming she was unaware she hit a teenager with her car. Her passenger is also detained. As officers investigate, rapper Quavo and his security team arrive, curious about the commotion. Quavo inquires about the car and Danny's whereabouts, but the conversation is disjointed. Danny mentions having a baby and claims she was heading home, but the details are unclear. The scene is chaotic, with multiple people involved and conflicting information.
In the camera.
We already have witnesses right there. We have witnesses saying that it was just car.
Who was driving?
Red was driving.
So how do you have damage in the car? You have damage in the car. Damage in my car.
Is this your car or is it a rental?
It's my car. I have my car seat in there. I have a baby. Like, I was going home.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming home from a little...
Don't go over there.
We're doing an investigation.
Or go over there. Yo. No. You can go over there. You can go over there. You can go over there. You're good.
Danny Lay, visibly drunk, denies hitting anyone with her car, despite witnesses and camera evidence. She's defiant and agitated, claiming innocence. Quavo's security team is told to leave, but they linger, causing frustration. The scene escalates, with the officer warning them to stop impeding the investigation. Danny Lay continues to deny wrongdoing, despite the evidence.
Sir,
What's up?
what's happening?
What's happening? We're doing an investigation. All right.
You really got
We have
me.
witnesses. We have witnesses saying that you hit a
But
scooter.
no, they're lying. I
Okay.
didn't hit no.
Well, we're gonna clarify. We have cameras all over the city, so we're gonna clarify. Okay. So if you're saying whatever you're saying, if it's the truth, then you'll be out of those handcuffs and you're on your way.
Please, I've
Okay.
never been in handcuffs in my life.
Okay. It's just protocol. We have to do it for the investigation.
Danny Lay, still cuffed on the pavement, name drops her celebrity connections, mentioning songs she made for famous singers. She asks the officer to remove the cuffs, complaining they hurt. When asked about her involvement in the incident, she downplays the severity, saying she was at Diddy's house and doesn't take responsibility for injuring a 17-year-old boy. She seems more concerned about her celebrity status and discomfort in handcuffs than the seriousness of the situation.
Those are my boys. You guys got me locked up for nothing. This guy is crazy. Why?
Where are you coming from?
Diddy had a memorial party.
At his house?
About half an hour later, Danny Lay becomes visibly emotional as officers ask her to perform a field sobriety test. They explain the test, which includes following a horizontal line, walking heel to toe on a line, and raising one leg while keeping the other straight. Danny Lay seems uncertain and emotional, asking for clarification on the instructions. The officers reassure her and begin the test, but suddenly, Quavo appears, causing a distraction. The officers tell him to leave, and Danny Lay is instructed to stand with her heels together and arms at her side. The test continues, with Danny Lay struggling to follow the instructions.
Keep the front foot on the line and turn by taking several small steps with one foot. While walking, watch your feet at all times. Keep your arms at your side and count steps aloud so I can hear you. Once you begin to now stop the test until it's complete. Do you understand the instructions? 6, 7, 8, 9. The last test that we're going to do is called the one leg stand.
So you make your assessments, right? On the first one, you already made your assessments as to what was
Yo, control that! I don't want that interfering over here. I don't care what that is. Why are you even on the scene? Back him away. Why is he standing next to you? Move him away from the scene, please. Let's go.
What do I do? Okay.
No, you didn't do anything.
No. Stand with me. Okay, it's okay. Just stand where we were at the beginning, okay?
What the?
Put your arms up. You're going to stand with your heels together and your arms at your side. Okay?
Let's stay in that position until I tell you to move.
Do not begin the test until I tell you to do it.
Despite Danny Lay's belief that she passed the sobriety test, officers arrest her for DUI and leaving the scene of an accident. She's taken to the police station, where officers review the surveillance video showing the moment of impact. Danny Lay blows a 0.145 and 0.148 on the breathalyzer, nearly double the legal limit. She's charged with 2 felonies and 2 misdemeanors, including DUI with serious injury, and is issued a $1,000 bond. The 17-year-old victim suffers a kidney laceration fracture. Later, Danny Lay is sentenced to 5 years of probation.
But despite Danny Lay believing she passed the sobriety test, officers placed her under arrest for DUI and leaving the scene of an accident.
Lean forward. Lean forward. You're going to put your hands behind your back.
Step down so you don't fall, man.
What am I getting arrested for?
maybe for hitting a child. I didn't hit nobody. Well, it's on camera.
At this point, you're being under arrest for two things: fleeing the scene of an accident and for being under the influence while driving.
I'm not under the influence. All of you tested this. I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And you fled the scene of an accident, and you caused major injury to a person.
Yeah, to a child, not a person.
As of now, that's. But we're gonna do. You know what? We're gonna do some more tests when we get there. Let me help you with your hair. Okay, slide back so you don't hit your head. Bend down.
Can I please grab a sweater so I don't go to jail?
We're gonna give it to you.
According to police, the R&B singer blew a 0.145 on the first breathalyzer she took, then a 0.148 on the second breathalyzer, nearly double the legal limit.
Former school resource officer and basketball star Jamel Bradley confesses to sexually assaulting students, but avoids prison time with only probation. Prosecutors also recommend no sex offender registry, a shocking sentence for a shocking crime.
A former school resource officer and record-breaking basketball player confesses to sexually assaulting multiple students. After taking a plea, the ex-cop ended up with only probation, so he avoided prison time. And now, prosecutors are recommending he also avoid the sex offender registry. The defendant in this case is Jamel Bradley, a one-time star basketball player at
Jamel Bradley, a former school resource officer, faced multiple complaints of inappropriate behavior with female students, but was simply transferred. Years later, a former student accused him of assault, leading to his arrest and guilty plea. Despite facing 15 years in prison, Bradley received a suspended sentence and only 3 years of probation.
He worked at Spring Valley High School for 9 years, and during that time, at least 5 complaints were made against him. 2 colleagues reported they saw Bradley alone with a female student in a secluded parking lot. That report came within the first year that Bradley worked in the high school. The other officer reported that Bradley was acting inappropriately with female students. Bradley was moved to the district's elementary school, then the middle school, and eventually the jail. Then, in 2019, a former student came forward with the allegations that Bradley had an inappropriate relationship with her when she was in school. There were not criminal charges in that case, but it did lead to Bradley finally being fired as an SRO. He served 12 years total with the sheriff's department. That same year, though, Bradley was finally arrested and charged with criminal sexual conduct.
Defense attorney Matt Mangino discusses the shocking case of a former school resource officer who sexually assaulted multiple students and pleaded guilty, yet received a lenient sentence of probation. Mangino understands the outrage, citing the officer's betrayal of trust and exploitation of access to young people. He highlights the gravity of the situation, where a person entrusted to protect children instead harmed them, and the outcome has left families upset.
Down with criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Matt Mangino. There's a lot to unpack in this case, but let's start with a major headline, the development that happened just this week.
Well, I can understand the outrage. I mean, this is a school resource officer, someone who's trusted within the building, someone who has access to young people, and he takes advantage of that access that he has and sexually assaults 2 young children over a period of time, and ends up with essentially a slap on the wrist. And I can see why families would be upset about the outcome of this investigation and prosecution.
The school district and sheriff's office faced a civil lawsuit for ignoring complaints about the former school resource officer's behavior. Settled in 2020, more civil suits may follow as survivors of sexual assault come forward in their own time, potentially leading to additional legal action.
To thoroughly investigate those complaints is really another huge failure in this whole situation. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why a student who was a victim may not have come forward. I mean, you know, they're embarrassed, and they shouldn't be, but ultimately they're embarrassed by the whole situation. They don't want the public scrutiny, just want to block this from their memory and move on with life. And that's why there's extended statutes of limitations for victims of child abuse, you know, so that they can, particularly sexual abuse, so that they can at some point, you know, long after this incident occurred, you know, sort of reconcile it with themselves and then move forward to try to get whatever relief is available to them and make sure that things like this don't happen in the future.
Vulnerable children should be able to trust school staff, but former school resource officer Jamel Bradley betrayed that trust. He was charged with sexual battery against a 16 to 17-year-old student, a crime made more severe by her age and student status. Bradley pleaded guilty and received a suspended sentence, resulting in only probation, which has sparked outrage.
This specific charge is interesting to me because not only does it lay out this was a student, but also ages 16 to 17. And I'm wondering why that may be in the charge. Do you think it's just to be a bit more specific, or that it's more severe that it was a student and one that was a young age?
As I understand the way these statutes are drafted, and every state has a different way of going about it, but generally what it is that young woman, so let's say she's 17 years old, and she would, let's say she met an adult someplace else, and they had a relationship, and that wouldn't be against the law. The fact that she's a student makes it a crime, because what it's in Pennsylvania, where I practice, we have institutional sexual assault, which means a 17-year-old student or even an 18-year-old student can't consent to sex with a teacher, with an administrator, with a school resource officer. Any sexual contact, consensual or not, is a violation of the statute.
Jamel Bradley, convicted of sexual battery against 2 students, was recommended by the solicitor's office to avoid sex offender registration, sparking concern. However, the judge overruled this, ensuring Bradley's registration and prioritizing public safety and accountability.
Another interesting aspect of this case is that the solicitor's office in South Carolina, which is like the DA or the prosecutor's office, they recommended that he doesn't need to register as a sex offender.
This is a person who, not once but twice victimized students who essentially were in his care. Parents send their children to school thinking that they're going to be safe and that they're going to be protected. And actually, an individual who's been hired by the district to provide that additional layer of security, watching out for students, that they should be able to go to the registry and examine it and find this guy who is convicted of assaulting 2 separate children over a period of years.
In the end, the judge ruled against the solicitor's office, saying Bradley is now required to register as a sex offender.
Corruption in the justice system is punishing me for protecting my children. A Colorado mother's shocking claim. Her daughter accuses a police officer, the girl's father, of rape. Yet, the mother is jailed. What's behind this stunning reversal? We investigate with Colorado attorney Eric Faddis. Reunification therapy, a tainted system, and a mother's fight for justice. The truth revealed.
Corruption in the justice system is punishing me for protecting my children.
A Colorado cop is accused of raping his daughter, but it's the girl's mother who had a report to jail. It's all connected back to a reunification therapist and what the mom says is a corruption in the system. We're breaking it down with Colorado attorney Eric Faddis.
Retired police officer Michael Hawkins faces felony charges for raping his daughter and sexually assaulting his stepdaughters. Despite this, he's fighting for sole custody of his young sons. The court-ordered reunification therapy program has become a contentious issue, with his ex-wife claiming it's manipulative and coercive. Her refusal to participate has led to her being held in contempt of court and facing jail time.
A retired police officer in the Denver area is accused of raping his own daughter for years, starting when she was just 5 years old. He's also accused of sexually assaulting his ex-wife's 2 daughters, whom he adopted. Michael Hawkins is free on bond right now after being charged with 6 felony counts of sexually assaulting a child and 1 misdemeanor count for child abuse. Rachel Pickrell Hawkins currently has custody of the couple's youngest sons, ages 10 and 13. She told the Denver Gazette that they had been living in a domestic violence shelter, but Hawkins is fighting to get sole custody of the 2 boys, and the family has been ordered to participate in a reunification therapy program. The therapy is supposed to help repair the children's relationship with their father, but Pickrell Hawkins claims that the so-called therapy is actual psychological manipulation and coercion. She refused to allow the boys to participate anymore, which resulted in her being held in contempt of court. The judge ordered her to report to jail for several weekends in a row as punishment.
Pickrell Hawkins, a mother of 6, is speaking out against the justice system and reunification therapy that's forcing her children to contact their accused abuser. Despite her ex-spouse's felony charges, she's being punished for protecting her kids. She's documenting her journey on TikTok and gaining support in her fight for her children's safety and dignity.
She posted this video before she reported to the county jail for the first time.
Corruption in the justice system is punishing me for protecting my children. So today I begin 7 weekends of jail in the Weekender jail program because I will not stop protecting my children and speaking out about the abuses that have happened to them. And they are 7 counts of felony sex assault on child by person in position of trust. And the judges and the magistrates and the reunification therapists that are forcing contact with my children's abusers are responsible for this. And I am one of many moms out there fighting to keep my babies safe.
Michael Hawkins, facing felony charges, denies allegations and is out on bond. His lawyer calls Pickrell Hawkins manipulative. Despite this, a judge considers granting him custody of their young children, citing no initial criminal charges and no involvement of the 2 children in question. However, Pickrell Hawkins claims court-ordered therapy sessions are harming the children.
Michael Hawkins has denied the allegations against him and posted a $50,000 surety bond in July. He has to wear a GPS ankle monitor while he's out on bond. The lawyer representing him in both his criminal case and divorce proceedings, Christopher Estol, said in an August court filing that Pickrell Hawkins is not a credible witness and is highly manipulative, according to the Denver Gazette. The judge wrote in one ruling, the court also notes that no criminal charges have been filed, and the Department of Human Services findings can be based on statements of the child alone with no corroborative evidence. The judge also said that the allegations against Hawkins do not involve the 2 children he's trying to get custody of.
Joined by Colorado defense attorney Eric Faddis, a former Colorado police officer accused of sexually assaulting children, including his adopted daughter, is free from jail. It's ironic that he's charged with sex assault and child abuse, yet he's a free man, while the mother trying to protect her children is sentenced to jail for disobeying a court order.
I'm joined now by Colorado-based criminal defense attorney Eric Faddis. Now, Eric, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, a former Colorado police officer accused of sexually assaulting children, one of which was his ex-wife's daughter who he adopted, but he's free from jail. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I think an irony that a lot of people are picking up on is the fact that he is charged with sex assault on a child and child abuse. He is free. He's out. He's a free person. Whereas the mother who says she's trying to protect her children from him has now been sentenced to jail for allegedly disobeying a court order. And so a lot of people are saying, what's going on? How could it be that he's out and she is in jail?
Accused of sexual acts against children, including his own daughter, yet fighting for sole custody of his son. It's a challenging case. Normally, those accused are prohibited from contacting minors, but he's seeking to resume contact. The mother objects to reunification therapy. Why suggest this therapy given the allegations? It's a head-scratcher. Reality is, reunification isn't always best.
And what are your thoughts on him being accused of sexual acts against children, one of which, again, was one of his own daughters, but is fighting for custody and sole custody at that for his sons, who he shares with his ex-wife?
Yeah, the family court judges are definitely have a difficult role, right? They have, they're dealing with extremely weighty concerns. It's high emotion in these cases. These are very serious allegations. And oftentimes, while that investigation is pending, while the case is pending, that person is prohibited from contact with minors in many of these cases. Here, he's seeking to resume contact with children. And so the mother is understandably upset about that and objecting to what's called this reunification therapy process. My understanding is that the reunification therapy was ordered before the dad was actually charged with some of these offenses. And there may be a hearing coming up to determine the appropriateness of reunification therapy going forward.
Can children refuse to see their father? In Colorado, once children reach a certain age, they have a say in parenting time and custody. They can express their wishes to the judge, who must consider their views. However, it's not the sole deciding factor. If a guardian ad litem is appointed, they can advocate for the child's best interests. In this case, the children may have expressed disapproval of reunification with their father, at least for now.
And how much of the children's voices can be heard in this type of case? Is there any possibility that they can go to a lawyer, and I'm just kind of giving a scenario here, go to a judge and tell the courts, I don't want to be near my dad at all. I don't want to be around him. I don't want this. This is not something I want. I agree with my mom.
As a general rule, in Colorado, once children reach a certain age, and I believe these children have reached that age, they do get a say in terms of parenting time and in terms of custody, in terms of who they want to be with. And the judge is supposed to give weight to that. Now, it's not a deciding factor. The judge has to look at other variables as well.
Does Hawkins have a chance at winning sole custody of his children? It's possible. Remember, the allegations against him are unproven, and he's presumed innocent until convicted. The judge must consider this. It might make sense to pause the custody decision until the criminal case is resolved. If Hawkins is acquitted, he'll have a strong case for significant custody. But if he's convicted or pleads guilty, that changes everything, and the priority becomes ensuring the children's safety.
And does Hawkins have any legs to stand on when it comes to his fight for sole custody of his children? Do you think that there's any type of way that could actually happen?
It's certainly possible. We've got to understand at this point, the allegations against Hawkins are just allegations, and he's presumed innocent, and he has not been convicted of sex assault on a child or child abuse with respect to these allegations. And so the judge needs to take that in consideration. If Hawkins beats the case, then certainly there's a strong argument that he should receive some significant portion of custody. If instead he cops a plea or is convicted, that of course changes the dynamic in terms of what's best for the kids and whether they would be safe around him for any period of time.
Hawkins, once hailed as a hero for his actions during the theater shooting, now faces allegations of sexual abuse. He medically retired with PTSD and allegedly abused his daughter for years. His defense team may argue that his past heroism and PTSD diagnosis mitigate his actions. However, the mother claims the abuse occurred both before and after the shooting, which undermines any sympathetic view of Hawkins. His defense team has some cards to play, but it's a complex situation.
And kind of going back to Hawkins being praised as a hero prior to these allegations coming out, and then he medically retired from duty and then allegedly sexually abused his daughter the same year that the shooting happened, and it continued for years. What are your thoughts on just that added aspect of kind of that downfall from hero to he was diagnosed with PTSD from our understanding?
I think Hawkins' defense team will use that as mitigating circumstances. They're going to say, hey, this person made a substantial contribution to this community. It's my understanding that he allegedly brought out a wounded 6-year-old from the theater shooting. And so if all that's true, then he absolutely did make such a contribution. That's significant. The fact that he has PTSD and other issues because of it, and that could have contributed to his behavior, that's significant. But I think the mother is alleging that this abuse occurred not only after the theater shooting, but also before. And so that cuts against sort of looking at Hawkins with a sympathetic lens. And so we'll have to see kind of how his defense team plays that. But they do have some, cards in their hand that they can play.
In Edgewater, Florida, a motorcyclist named Andre Narcis was stopped for running a stop sign. As the officer approaches, loud music blasts from his motorcycle. When asked for his license, registration, and insurance, Narcis refuses, claiming he knows the law. The officer warns him to comply or face jail. Narcis requests to call his supervisor, but the officer refuses. The situation escalates, with Narcis accusing the officer of illegality.
All right, so we want to start this off in Edgewater, Florida, where a motorcyclist with an ironic name was stopped July 30th of this year for running a stop sign. And as the officer gets out of his patrol car, you can hear Andre Narcis, yes, like narcissist, blasting music.
Let me turn this on because I'm native, so I'm going to record all this. Yeah.
I need your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance.
Why do you need my driver's license? First of all, why are you pulling me over?
Nope. I need your driver's license, your registration,
Hold on, we're going to
and
do this
proof
again.
of insurance.
I study law, and I'm not a dummy, and I know everybody down at that office.
You got about 2 seconds to give me your information, or you're going to go to jail.
Oh, wait, hold on. I want you to repeat that.
2 seconds.
I got 2 seconds, or I'm going to go to jail.
Yep. I need your driver's license, your registration, and your proof of insurance, or you're going to go into handcuffs, and you're going to go to jail.
You know that's illegal?
It is not.
It actually is. It actually is. Can you call your supervisor? Call your supervisor down there.
Nope.
Andre Narcis, a motorcyclist, refuses to provide his license and registration, claiming knowledge of the law. The officer cuffs him, leading to a heated exchange. Narcis accuses the officer of violating his rights, mentions his Native American heritage, and threatens to sue. En route to jail, the officer reveals that providing his license would have avoided a ticket. Narcis is now out on bond, awaiting a court hearing.
I know my law.
You don't want to give me your stuff?
You cannot touch me.
Okay.
No, you cannot touch me.
Your stuff.
Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. Why are you cuffing me? What the are you doing? What are you doing to me, bro? What the I've had neck surgery.
I don't care, dude.
What the are you doing? Oh my God, bro. Call Mayor Diesel and call your supervisor right now. You are 100%
X-ray 12 seconds.
absolutely wrong for what you just did to me. I'm going to file suit.
You can slow everybody down.
I'm going to file suit. Call your
And you can change the
supervisor.
address.
Call your supervisor. You just committed a crime.
Okay.
A felony.
Okay.
You threw me. I've had neck surgery.
Yep. Well, you shouldn't have been resisting me.
I didn't resist you. I asked you why'd you stop me. It's $100,000 for every violation. You are touching me without your supervisor present.
Yeah, because I'm doing my job, buddy.
No, it's not your job. You're actually violating my rights.
No, I'm not.
And on top of that, I'm Native American.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know you're not even allowed to touch me, bro?
That's not how it works.
Narcis was charged with resisting without violence. And here's the interesting part about it. The officer let him know on the ride to jail that if he just provided his license, the officer wouldn't have even given him a ticket. Now he's out on bond and awaiting a court hearing.
On May 16, 2024, a deputy initiated a traffic stop on Juan Rivera for a broken tail light. The deputy requested Rivera's ID, but he refused to comply. The deputy explained the importance of providing identification to verify his identity, but Rivera continued to refuse. When asked to exit the vehicle, Rivera declined. The deputy then relayed the situation to another officer, who approached Rivera and politely requested his ID once again.
Sheriff's office. You got your driver's license on you? Okay. I pulled you over because your tail light's out. The one on your left. Your left tail light is completely out. Alright, I need your driver's license and your registration. Because I'm asking you for it. This is a traffic stop. I'm not giving you a verbal warning, I'm telling you. Alright, so this guy, not wanting to identify, he's not going to step out of the vehicle, I can tell you that right now. He's recording his taillights out, his left one.
During a traffic stop, Juan Rivera is asked for his license, registration, and insurance. He refuses to comply and asks for the supervisor. When Sergeant Levin arrives, Rivera is skeptical and refuses to provide identification. The situation escalates, and Rivera is asked to exit the vehicle. He resistively complies, mentioning a broken arm. As he's being detained, Rivera requests to call the police station and expresses discomfort with the situation.
I'm Deputy Carroll with the Pollution Sheriff's Office. Go ahead and turn that down. Do you have your license, registration, and insurance for the vehicle?
You the supervisor?
Do you have the license,
Are you the
registration,
supervisor?
and insurance for the vehicle?
I do. Are you the supervisor?
Okay, go ahead and have.
Are you the supervisor?
Are you failing to identify yourself on a legal traffic stop?
I asked for a supervisor and they
Delta
send
9,
another
be
fucking
advised he is being
No. I
really
asked for a supervisor.
agitated,
Y'all refusing me a supervisor.
refusing to identify, refusing
And you refused
to
a
get out of the
supervisor
vehicle.
over a freaking taillight out. And you refused a supervisor, send another one to waste money.
Listen, it's a legal traffic stop.
You want to speak to the supervisor? I'm the supervisor. So do you have your driver's license and registration?
You're the supervisor. Where's your badge? How do I know you're a supervisor?
They just showed you. Those right there is Okay, well, I'm the supervisor. I'm Sergeant Levin with the Sheriff's Office. How can I help
call
you?
the police station. Make sure
Okay, do you have your driver's license and
When I call the
registration?
police
Nope,
station,
get out of this truck.
Why? I'm verifying.
I don't care.
You're the supervisor. I just
fine.
want to
Get out of this truck.
Okay, wait.
No, we're not.
Okay, I'll give you what.
Get out of the truck. Watch
Okay,
out,
I'm getting
sir.
out. Let me get out. I'm getting out. I'm getting. Relax. Don't slam me.
No,
It's fine. It's fine, bro. Listen. Hey, arm is broken.
I don't care. Put your hands
I
behind your
just
back.
wanted to talk to the supervisor.
No, you didn't. You want to take me to jail? No.
Can I tell you what happened?
No, you can't.
Is he gonna let me go?
Juan Rivera, detained during a traffic stop, claims his arm is broken and wants to explain himself, but the sergeant refuses to listen. Rivera insists he's not resisting and just wants to go home. He's arrested for resisting without violence. Later, the sheriff shares body cam footage to refute Rivera's accusations of excessive force, which the footage doesn't support.
What's that arm? Please, photo. That arm is broken.
Okay.
Hold on. Can you just tie me up front, please?
No.
This arm is broken.
Well, quit resisting and you won't have a problem.
I'm not resisting, boss. Look, can I just explain myself, please?
Nope.
Please. I'm just trying to get home, please. That's all.
Now you're going to go to jail and then you can go
Why,
home.
please?
Because this isn't a game.
I'm not trying to pull a game.
Okay, well, congratulations. Now you've met the sergeant and you can go to jail.
Rivera was booked on a charge of resisting without violence, and in a sworn citizen complaint, Rivera accused the deputies of slamming him against his truck, slamming him into the ground, choking him,